In 1979, two brothers from Texas tried to buy all the silver on planet Earth. They got close enough that the people in charge had to change the rules of the game to stop them. This is the story of the Hunt brothers and the time two guys tried to buy an element off the periodic table. Meet H.L. Hunt, their father. In the 1960s, he was one of the richest men alive. Oil money. Texas oil money. The kind of wealth that makes billionaires look modest. His sons, Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt, inherited the fortune and the ambition. Nelson alone was worth over $1 billion. In 1970s money, that's not rich, that's a country. But Nelson had a problem. He didn't trust the dollar. 1973, Nixon killed the gold standard. Inflation was eating America alive. The dollar was losing value every single day. Nelson needed something real, something physical, something nobody could print. He chose silver. In 1973, silver traded at about $2.90 an ounce. Nelson started buying. Not a little, not a hedge. He started buying millions of ounces. His brother Herbert joined in. Now it was a team effort. They didn't just buy futures contracts on paper. They did something unusual. They took physical delivery. That means actual silver bars, pulled from vaults, loaded onto planes, flown to Switzerland. They hired armored cars, private jets, armed guards for silver. By 1979, the Hunt brothers held an estimated 100 million ounces of silver. That was roughly 1/3 of the entire world's privately held supply. Two guys from Dallas owned 1/3 of a planetary resource. Here's how a corner works. You buy so much of something that sellers can't deliver. When sellers can't deliver, they have to buy on the open market, at whatever price you set. The price of silver started climbing, $6, $8, $11. Other traders noticed. They started panicking, which made it worse. September 1979. Silver hit $16, double where it started that year. Then the Hunts added fuel. They recruited wealthy Saudi investors, the bin Mahfouz and Alamoudi families. Now it wasn't just two brothers. It was an international syndicate, all buying silver. December 1979. Silver crosses $30 an ounce. January 17, 1980. It hits $49.45, the all-time high. In 12 months, silver had gone from $6 to almost $50. That's an 800% increase. The Hunt brothers' silver position was now worth over $4 billion. Ordinary Americans couldn't afford silverware. People were melting family heirlooms for cash. Tiffany & Co. took out a full-page ad in the New York Times. Quote, "We think it is unconscionable for anyone to hoard several billions of dollars worth of silver." The Hunt brothers were not popular, but they didn't care. They kept buying. The commodities exchange, COMEX, was in trouble. Traders who had sold silver short were getting obliterated. They owed silver they did not have. Some of these short sellers were board members of the exchange itself. January 21, 1980. COMEX made an emergency announcement. Silver Rule 7. From now on, traders could only sell silver. No new buy orders, liquidation only. Read that again. They made it illegal to buy. You could only sell in a free market. If everyone can only sell, there's only one direction the price can go, down. The Hunts were now playing a game where the other side had rewritten the rules specifically to beat them. The price started collapsing. $40, $30, $20. March 27, 1980. A day that would become known as Silver Thursday. Silver crashed to $10.80 an ounce. In a single day, it dropped over 50%. The Hunt brothers got a margin call, $100 million. Due immediately. They couldn't pay. For the first time in their lives, the Hunt brothers didn't have the cash. The entire financial system wobbled. Multiple brokerage firms nearly went under. The Fed had to step in. A consortium of banks loaned the Hunts over $1 billion just to keep them from defaulting and crashing the entire market. 1988. Both brothers declared bankruptcy. Nelson went from being one of the richest men in the world to filing the largest personal bankruptcy in American history at the time. The CFTC fined them $10 million. They were banned from trading futures. In 1989, a federal jury found them guilty of conspiring to manipulate the silver market. But here's what's interesting. Nobody went to prison. Nobody at COMEX was investigated for changing the rules mid-game to protect their own positions. The Hunts broke the rules. That's true, but the exchange broke them too. They just had the authority to call it regulation. Silver wouldn't hit $49 again until 2011, 31 years later. Nelson Bunker Hunt died in 2014. He was 88. When asked about the whole silver thing, he once said, $1 billion isn't what it used to be. The Hunt brothers proved something uncomfortable. The market has rules, but those rules only apply until someone powerful enough decides they don't. Subscribe for more.